Beautiful beings of the universe, welcome to now. So, I wanted to talk about this thing on giving some time for your own self, doing the things that matters to you the most, and to stop thinking about what others are thinking about you or what they are perceiving you as. Because actually, that's not important. Everybody who is around you, who comes in your life situation, are actually just a passing show. In fact, your own life itself is a passing show. The fact that you are born and that you live through X amount of years and then you die, it's all a passing show. Every single second is like that. So when you are aware of this, then naturally your ideation of what others are thinking about you should drop. Point number one, that does not bring about anything relevant to you, in the sense that if you want to do something and you are stopping yourself because of somebody else, because of the fear of how the world is going to perceive you, just have a thought about it. Isn't that a self-damaging thought? Isn't that a thing that you're going to hate yourself for? Secondly, if you're looking for social approval, you would never have it from no one. So, in that case, again, it's a self defeating thing if you put your trust on others, because there's nobody else outside of you who can lift you out from your own darkness, where you, as your personal self, as that personality that you have taken up in this lifetime resides. So why I'm talking about this is so that you can actually have a lot of self awareness about what is it exactly that you want to do. And chances are that once you have brought yourself out of that darkness, wherein you are not even thinking about what others are thinking, so these all comes in stages. So initially you would have to go through all of those distractions that people will throw upon you, and understand why do people do that. It's a manipulation game so that they can show that what they are doing is important. And that's precisely a thing, like what they do, that matters, whereas what others are doing, that's not essential. So basically everybody in this world is trying to make their way, and they don't care about others. So you too should care about yourself, because if you are too much of an empath and you just keep on thinking about being nice to everyone, which I understand, I'm an empath and I understand that. So we are very much giving people. And then people tend to use up that space and they tend to walk all over you, which is not a nice thing to be, right? Like nobody wants to be walked over. But as an empath, if you do not draw your boundaries and if you do not push for yourself, nobody else would. So that's very essential that you do what your true soul calling is. And then you would also arrive at the place wherein now, even if you do not have blockers from the external world, you still feel that there are a lot of limitations inside of you. And now that is the main challenge. That becomes your main challenge, to break through those barriers, because that's really difficult. And truly, who's the real enemy of yours is not the world outside, but actually it's you. However, like I said, it comes in layers. So because we have lived so much of life in a state of ignorance, because that was our conditioning as a younger person, and then you grow to an adult, and things seems very different. So how it starts out, like I said, how it actually works out starting from the beginning. So you first of all see lots of resistance in the outer world, and then you learn how to focus. So, from the state of expansion, from the chaos, you bring about concentration, focus. So, this expansion, you can imagine to it like a huge ball, and through the contraction, it tends to come to the center, so like a dot. So, when finally you have arrived at that, and then you would find again it's another set of expansion that's happening, and now all of the limitations that you had external, you tend to see that all of those are inside of you. So basically, inside of you, you have made two personalities, one that says, do this thing, and the another one that says, I don't want to do, I'm just feeling too much overwhelmed, I hate to do this. Why am I doing all this? Why is it that nobody else is doing this for me? Because when you were small, everybody used to give you everything, and everybody else was so much caring for you. But then the child grows up and it realizes that you've got to learn everything on your own. So the illusion of somebody else doing stuff for you, now you've got to do all of those stuffs. So the main challenge is that you are going um, through your own limitations, barriers, like I said. So that might be any amount of fear that you have. And the reason that you have the fear is because you want to get things done fast. But when you actually start to do that, you see that, oh, it actually needs 100 number of steps. And now you have the fear, first of all, in attempting this step one, and then the next step you have gone through, third step, fourth step, but you still have that lurking fear. At some step, I would fail. And in the sense, when I fail, who's actually going to help me? See, there's nobody to help you. So you go about trying those things. And the only thing is, you've got to keep on trying. So you Google the issue, the problem statement that you have. You find it on multiple websites. Okay, how do I fix this? And you try the solution. Sometimes it would work. And it better work because you're trying to fix those issues by yourself now. So once you have that, and then you give that solution a go, that works for you, and then you move on to the next step. So you keep on doing these things basically step by step, and understand that at one time you can do only one thing. The problem of the magnitude of work actually lies in the fact because you are thinking that, oh, I've got so many things to do, and there's already these many bubbles coming up at the back of your mind, and that is causing a lot of unclarity, and it causes haze basically. So you say that, oh, well, I'm doing this, but I also should do that, and then once I've done this work, the next thing I need to do is this. So there's a pipeline of work. It's too many things together. But understand that at a time we can do only one thing. And that's why this idea of time is very essential, time and timing. Because to give a real end to a work that you have started, that would mean creation of anything from the beginning to end with its processes being done. That whole thing together could be called as a timing. So timing could be like you writing a song, or you writing a poetry, or you learning a piece. So that would be a timing thing, because between these number of hours you have actually learned that piece, or you have created that art. But time in itself, if you see to it like right now you have started with step one, and at a time you can only do one thing. So you, of course, you cannot multitask. Multitasking is just not possible unless and until you are doing something that the machine is doing in the background. That you can do, of course. But if you are talking about something that purely needs your creative brain act, that has got to be one thing at a time, because you are dealing with your own inner thought patterns now. I'm not talking about the automated things. Those things can be done in the background. So basically you can do one thing at a time when you are trying to create something as an artist, or as a creator. Basically, whatever you create, a story, a song, a poetry, a musical piece, a painting, a page in a book that you're writing, whatever that be. So you need not rush about this thing that, oh, I just need to rush up. Because you see, eventually you're trying to escape from the now, and now is an entirely consuming thing. That's why everybody is trying to escape from the now. Everybody is trying to run away from now, as if there's something greater to achieve in the future. That's what Alan Watts says, that everybody is trying to run to a place as if there is some heaven at certain point, only to arrive at that place and then run away again for something greater and bigger. because they cannot stop and enjoy that moment. And it's not they, it's we, it's all of us, we all are doing that. Because though it's easy to say to be in the now and let's just feel this breath and just sit with ourselves in this right very moment, it's very difficult. And why it's difficult is because our mind keeps on uh, make forcing us to believe that, okay, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and there were things that you did not do and you're not feeling well. And what about this body that will die? And somehow the mind also wants to elude this thought of death, and that everybody wants to run away from this, that every second we are dying. But if we could really stay with this awareness, then you can see a lot of your useless chatter of the mind just drops. It drops in the fire of now. Now is actually like a fire, and it is entirely consuming. It's consuming every single thing. So no matter what, even a second from the back cannot be traced back because now it's gone into the ashes. You can have a memory of that, and since it was fresh, you can say, I just had it right now, but you can never get that previous now back. You see, and it's so important to really see the value of that, because we are just told to keep on running around things as if that is going to give us satisfaction. But nothing is actually going to give you satisfaction, just nothing in this world. And that brings you to a lot of frustration, because no matter what you have, you do feel that there is something that is lacking inside. There is something that just wants to expand more. There's something that just wants to experience and know its own true self, know its own true nature. And that's what people delude in terms of money and fame and material goods and relations, which is all empty. And everything is empty. And that's what Buddha said, form is emptiness and emptiness is form, in the Heart Sutra. And which is so true. So even if you are hungry and let's say you are in a desert and you are very hungry, there is no food and water, and you feel that only if I could get one slice of bread and some water, I'm going to feel like heaven, as if I'm in heaven. But that is not true. Look at your experience. Every single day you are eating and eating and you are overeating. Even though you're not hungry, you are eating. Why? Because there is this illusion that probably eating a good tasty food is going to satisfy me. Probably I would be able to just feel the deeper part of me and just be at home. All of this desire that we have is coming from the desire of coming home. It's all a call for the home seeking. And no matter how much amount of running externally we could do, it's always like coming back to the center. And when all of your energy is drained out in whatever things, in your materialistic goals or in your passions or whatever, you come back to the center. And at the center, there is void, there is silence, there is pitch darkness. That is your now. And mind just wants to elude that thing because you just want to experience something because you fear that, and deep inside, every human knows that that is who they are. Everybody knows that. But then there's a fear that, oh, when this body dies, I'm anyway going to get back to my true self, which is nothing. And that is very terrifying. So let me just play this game of life. And we, like an avatar in this body and form on the planet, we run around seeking for only pleasurable experiences, things that would give us joy, and run away from pain. And that is what we all want. We just want happiness, and we do not want to inflict pain upon ourselves. But then, the game of Maya, duality, Goddess comes in and says that, well, if you are here to play, my child, you will also have to face both the things. So if you want happiness, you need to pay for that in equal and opposite amount of suffering. So the greater the happiness, the greater the suffering. It's a give and take. As much as your happiness, that much is your suffering. One cannot be without the other. So it's like a game you want to play. So if you want more happiness, you got to pay the price for that. If you want to achieve more material success, you need to pay a price for that. You need to suffer that much. If you want to have that sort of any form of success, even in be it your creative space or your business or even about making a good successful community wherein people come together, you need to go through those hardships, because anything that you create is a child of pain. There is no pleasure without pain. But how the world has shown us things is that there is somehow a shortcut way, but that is not true. There's no shortcut way to nothing at all. And also see to it, like if you do achieve everything, like let's say a child of a billionaire, so since they are born in a family where they have every single thing because the parents are so rich, they do not appreciate money and wealth so much, do they? See to it that you only appreciate something that you do not have. So a poor person values money so much because they think, once I have that much money, I would be happy. So they go on working hard and hard and hard so that they could just be rich someday and then feel the happiness. But you ask somebody who's really rich, and they do not feel so joyful about being rich. For them it's just a normal thing. For them it's just okay to have so much money. So they want to experience some more fancy things, right? They want to go to maybe other space, and because they have that much money, so maybe they want to experience some out of this planet existence. Maybe they want to go on Mars because they can afford that trip. Or who knows. But whatever, the thing is that you always think that what you don't have and having that is going to fulfill you and make you feel at least satisfied for some time. And that is true. Like coming back to my example of that hungry person in a desert. So, of course, for the time being, when the food has been brought, when he's been hungry for 2 or 3 days, of course, there is a sense of satisfaction, but that too is not very long lasting. After a while, again, you are back into the same problem, the problem of duality. And we want an eternal fix. We want that if one time I have arrived, I want to stay home forever. And to this, Ramana Maharshi has talked about in his beautiful book, in his great talks on Nanyar, Who Am I? He says that uh, child, the human mind is actually like a child, wherein we knowingly want to just run away from the shade of a tree and then feel the heat and the difficulties and the turmoil of the world outside, and then we want to say, oh, it's so hot, I'm just burning in the hot sun, I want to rush to the shade of the tree. So then that person runs back to the shade of the tree and feels, wow, I'm so relaxed now, this is so nice, it's so beautiful in the windy shade of the tree. And that shade of the tree is you yourself, in your swarupa state, in your state wherein you are not the body and you are not the mind. You are just the I am presence, like Nisargadatta Maharaj says. That is the state of zero. So after you have gone through all of those cycles of happiness and sorrows, because they both take turns, and it's impossible to have one without the other, and they keep on going on in succession till the body gets old and it dies. So what is the end point for this? There's nowhere else to go. There's just nothing much to do, because no amount of doing or no amount of acquiring or no amount of achieving is actually going to take you anywhere. So just be in the now and just do whatever the moment to moment calling that comes to you. Also, see to it that you do not have a choice to say, no, I will not do it. Because this illusion of you who's deciding whether I want to do this or not is also not your choice, because you are not the doer. So there's nothing for you to do. Just watch, just observe. And that also, you are not doing that consciously. You just are, and things are just being done. And it's the universe that makes the entire thing move. It's the universe that makes this entire game. Some realized master had said about this beautifully, that life is the dance and you are the dancer. So actually there is nothing to do. Things happen. Even for the biggest task that you do and you say, wow, I have done this, I have accomplished it, it's actually not you who's the doer. Because the situation pushed you into that situation and you did not have any choice, but you had to act that way at that time. And then that led to certain results, maybe successful or a failure. But you do not decide that. Things just happen, just like the breeze blows and just like how you breathe in and out. And staying with this awareness is going to give us a lot of ease of mind, because in this chaotic world where we are living in, where there's toxicity everywhere, you cannot escape that. But only the awareness and living in the now can save you from the chaos that we live in. So just be in the now. Have a great day, my friend. Bye for now.